My dear children, very pleasant and cheerful morning to all. Welcome back to Geography Lesson 3. In our previous class, we studied about the lithospheric plates, endogenic and exogenic forces and volcanoes. We will discuss about the origin of an earthquake, causes of an earthquake and earthquake preparedness in today's class. Dear children, what is an earthquake? An earthquake is a sudden violent shaking of the surface of the earth caused by disturbances within the earth's crust. Last class we discussed about the lithospheric plates. When the lithospheric plates move, the surface of the earth vibrates. The vibrations can travel all around the earth. These vibrations are called earthquakes. Can you understand? The place in the crust where the movement starts is called the focus. The place on the surface above the focus is called the epicenter. The point of origin of an earthquake is called focus. The point on the earth's surface which is vertically above the focus is called epicenter. The vibrations of an earthquake spread out as concentric waves from the focus. The intensity of an earthquake maximum near the epicenter. The strength of earthquake weakens away from the epicenter. You know very well that sudden disturbances within the earth crust could either be due to plate colliding or rubbing each other or due to volcanic eruptions. These vibrations travel outwards from the epicenter as waves. Greatest damage is usually closest to the epicenter and the strength of the earthquake decreases away from the center. Dear children, there are mainly two types of earthquake waves. One is body waves, the another one is surface waves. The body waves travel through the interior of the earth mainly in two forms. One is primary waves, that is P waves. The primary waves or compressional waves are the fastest moving waves and hence are the first to be recorded on a seismograph. What is seismograph? The seismograph is an instrument that is used to measure and record the details related to earthquakes like force, duration, etc. So, these P waves are the fastest moving waves. They cause crustal rocks to move forward and backward. The next one is secondary waves, S waves. The secondary waves or shake waves are the next to arrive after the primary waves, P wave. These waves produce a strong shaking action. Okay, they cause crustal rocks to vibrate sideward. They do not pass through the liquid. These S waves are transverse waves. That means that will move sideward. Okay, they cause crystal rocks to vibrate sideward. Okay, so the next one is surface wave. The surface wave are the last to arrive and travel on the earth's surface starting from the epicenter. These powerful waves cause most of the damage. Their effect is not seen at great depth. Okay, so this will cause most damage to the building. How will you measure an earthquake? An instrument that detects, measures and records an earthquake is called seismograph. SEISMOGRAPH, seismograph. Usually two aspects of an earthquake are measured. They are its magnitude and intensity. Okay, the magnitude of an earthquake is measured on the Richter scale. The magnitude of an earthquake is measured on the Richter scale. The intensity of an earthquake is measured on the Mercalli scale. Mercalli, it's an Italian name. Okay, the intensity of an earthquake is measured on the Mercalli scale. The Richter scale ranges from 0 to 9. An increase in 1 point on the Richter scale indicates that the force of the earthquake is 10 times greater than the strength of the previous number. The earthquakes of intensity 6 and above are very destructive. More than 1 million earthquakes are recorded worldwide every year. The intensity of an earthquake is measured in relation to its effect on human life. Mild tremors are more frequent. Year before last year, we felt some mild tremors in Salem city. They are generally not noticed. Violent earthquakes cause extensive damage to life and property. They cause fractures and displacement on the earth's crust. They may cause landslides in hilly areas, bursting of river dams and blocking of rivers, raising or lowering of the sea floors or coastal regions. Okay. So, next one is prepared. Protect yourself during earthquake. Earthquake preparedness. Where to take shelter during the earthquake? Safe spot under the kitchen counter. Find a safe spot under a kitchen counter, table or desk against an inside corner or wall. Stay away from fireplaces, areas around chimneys, windows that shatter, including mirrors and picture frames. Spread awareness among your friends and family members and face any disaster confidently. What to do during an earthquake? Before the disaster, connection of gas lines and appliances must be made flexible. An earthquake readiness plan must be kept ready, including locating shelter house, canned food, and up-to-date first aid kit, gallons of water, dust masks, firefighting equipment, torch, and a working battery operated radio. Okay, the architects and structural engineers must be consulted before laying the foundation of building in earthquake prone areas. Also, the building must be manufactured as per the rules and regulations laid by the disaster management committee. Awareness must be spread among friends and family members about the above mentioned measures. What are the do's and don'ts? One must stay indoors until the shaking stops and it's officially announced that it is safe to exit. One must stay away from bookcases, furniture and heavy appliances that may fall. The shelter must be under a table or bed and hold on to a post to any other fixture. If one is in outdoors, the shelter must be taken in a clear stop away from buildings, trees and power lines. After the disaster, what you have to do? First aid kits must be used to tend to persons with minor injuries such as bleedings. Whereas seriously injured individuals must not be moved until they are out of danger and proper medical help has arrived. If the person is not breathing, rescue breathing must be administered. The person has no pulse. CPR must be given. You Google it, what is CPR? Tumbling shelves and falling items must be taken care of and damaged walls made of bricks must be avoided. Main gas valves must be checked for leaks. The main power switch must be turned off. If there is a possibility of damage, broken appliances must be unplugged until the damage is repaired. One must stay away from downed power lines or any object or appliance in contact with it. Can you understand this? What are the effects of an earthquake? Ground is shaking. Surface waves that are near the epicenter are responsible for the earthquake. The intensity of ground shaking depends on the duration, local geology and distance. Damage to man-made structures, some buildings, some temples, some man-made structures, factories, buildings, other things. The outbreak of fire and spilling of hazardous chemicals will be there. Okay. Now, what is the difference between seismograph and a Richter scale? Seismograph used for measuring and recording the vibrations of earthquakes. Seismograph used for measuring the motions related to the ground like seismic waves resulting in an earthquake and volcanic eruptions. Richter scale is used for indicating the intensity of an earthquake, used for quantifying the energy that is released during an earthquake. Where do earthquakes occur? So, all over the world, the earthquakes are common along the following belts. Last class, we have seen in map. That circum-Pacific belt coincide with the Pacific Ring of Fire. Last class I mentioned this Pacific Ring of Fire. It includes the coastal margins of North America, South America and East Asia. These regions account for about 65% of the total earthquakes of the world. Next one is mid-continental earthquake belt includes the Alps mountains, Mediterranean Sea, Northern and Eastern Africa and the Himalayas. These regions account for about 25% of the total earthquakes of the world. The third one is Mid-Atlantic Ridge Earthquake Belt. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge Earthquake Belt includes the Mid-Atlantic Ridge and the adjoining islands. It records moderate earthquakes which are caused due to the moving of the lithospheric plates in opposite directions. Dear children, let us see the earthquake belt in India. Look at the map carefully. These are all the seismic zones in India. The earthquake belt in India is mainly confined to the Himalayan region and the Ganga-Brahmaputra valley. About 2/3 of India is earthquake prone. Even the safe region of Deccan Plateau has struck by earthquake tremors in the last 5 decades. The Bureau of Indian Standards has divided India into 5 earthquake zones. Zone 1, that is intensity 5 or below or moderate. Okay, in this map zone 2, from zone 2 we marked. That is zone 2, intensity 6 or strong. Okay, it's marked in blue in color. Next one is zone 3, intensity 7, that is very strong, marked in yellow in color. Zone 4, intensity 8 and destructive. See this orange color. Next one is zone 5, intensity 9 and above, very destructive. It's true that that have a strong earthquake intensity zones. Okay, very disastrous. That is marked in red in color. So we have to understand about the Bhuj earthquake. The powerful earthquake of magnitude 6.9 on the Richter scale hit Gujarat on 26 January 2001, while the entire country was celebrating the 51st anniversary of the Republic Day of India. The tremors lasted over 2 minutes. The epicenter of the earthquake was located about 20 km northeast of Bhuj town of Kutch district in Gujarat. The focus of the earthquake was at the depth of 25 kilometers from the Earth's surface. The Bhuj lies along the western boundary of the Indian plate, and the cause of the earthquake was reactivated faults and plate movement. Many districts of Gujarat were severely affected by intense shaking generated by this devastating earthquake. The affected area spread up to 300 kilometers from the epicenter. Ahmedabad was severely affected. The earthquake caused extensive damage to life and property. As per official records, over 12,000 were killed by this earthquake. Hundreds of villages were flattened and over 1 million structures were damaged or destroyed, including many historic buildings and tourist attractions. Communication and power lines were completely disrupted and the transport system was thrown out of gear. The next one is Nepal earthquake. April 2015, Nepal earthquake killed more than 8,800 people and injured more than 23,000. Thousands of houses were destroyed across many districts of the country, with the entire village flattened, especially those near the epicenter. It occurred with a magnitude of 7.8 and maximum Mercalli intensity of 9, that is violent. Its epicenter was east of the district of Lamjung. It was the worst natural disaster to strike Nepal since the 1934 Nepal-Bihar earthquake. Tremors were felt in the neighboring Indian states of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Assam, West Bengal, Sikkim, Jharkhand, Gujarat, in the national capital region around New Delhi, and as far as the south as Karnataka. Many buildings were brought down in Bihar. Minor cracks in the walls of houses were spotted in Odisha. Okay, dear children, we have to discuss about the disaster management phases. Okay. What is meant by disaster management? As the name denotes, disaster. Disaster means some destructions. For example, cloudburst, floods, earthquakes, tsunami, cyclones, volcano, eruption. These are all the natural disasters. So the man-made disasters are there. The man-made disaster occurs due to technological, industrial accidents, security related, for example, terrorism and such factors. In this pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic also, the best example, it's a disastrous condition. Okay. So what is meant by disaster management? Disaster management refers to the measures taken for the safety and protection of life and property from natural or man-made disasters. This means being prepared for disasters, fighting disasters effectively, ensuring the safety of life during disasters and helping in rebuilding society after the disaster. Okay, earthquake is one of the major natural disaster. Every year it causes a huge loss of life and property all around the world. So this disaster management, okay, that is our disaster management, NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, provides proper strategies and awareness about disaster management. Okay. This will protect us from the losses and help to cope up with these hazards. What is NDMA? National Disaster Management Authority, abbreviated as NDMA, is an apex body of Government of India which is headed by our Prime Minister. Okay, so this disaster management NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, provides the rescue operations and measures and strategies, okay, and that prepared for disasters, fighting disasters, help us to fighting disasters effectively. This NDMA ensures the safety of life during disasters and helping in rebuilding society after the disaster. Okay, so this is the thing. Dear children, this brings to an end to the topic. Let us briefly recapitulate about the earthquake in a nutshell. Listen carefully to know the complete details of an earthquake. Okay. Where do earthquakes occur? An earthquake can occur anywhere on the earth, but most of the time it occurs near the tectonic plates that have active faults. What is seismograph? The seismograph is an instrument that is used to measure and record the details related to earthquakes like force, duration, etc. What is an earthquake zone? Earthquake zone is defined as a zone on the earth's surface around which the majority of earthquakes occur. It is known as the seismic zone or the earthquake belts. What are the earthquake zones in India? There are a total of 5 earthquake zones in India. They are Zone 5, highly prone to earthquake, Punjab, Kashmir and Northeast India. Zone 4, parts of Delhi, Jammu, Bihar and Indo-Gangetic Basin. Zone 3, moderate damage risk, Western Himalayan Plains, Andaman Nicobar Islands. Zone 2 and 1, low damage risk. Okay. Now, an earthquake is measured with a machine called a seismograph. The magnitude of the earthquake is measured on the Richter scale. And earthquake of 2.0 or less can be felt only a little. And earthquake over 5.0 can cause damage from things falling. A 6.0 or higher magnitude is considered very strong and 7.0 is classified as a major earthquake. Okay. So, dear children, take your textbook, read page number 13 and 14 from your textbook and record your voice and send to my personal WhatsApp number. Thank you children. Stay home, stay safe and stay blessed.